While the metaverse on the consumer side is industrial use, outside of gaming, which has effectively consisted of metaverse instances for years, NVIDIA at SIGGRAPH will be talking about its leadership in integrating AI into the technology, the creation and application of digital twins, and successes at major new robotic factories like the one BMW has created with the help of Siemens. But what I find even more interesting is that as metaverse tools like NVIDIA's Omniverse become more consumer-friendly, the ability to use AI and human digital twins will enable us to create our own worlds where we dictate the rules and where our AI-driven digital twins will emulate real people and animals. SIGGRAPH and the AI-driven metaverse. If you've participated in a multiplayer video game like Warcraft, you've experienced a rudimentary form of the metaverse. You also discovered that objects that do things in the real world like doors and windows that open, leaves that move with the wind, and people who behave like people don't yet exist. With the introduction of digital twins in physics through tools like NVIDIA's Omniverse, this is changing so that simulations that depend on reality, like those developing autonomous cars and robots, work accurately and assure that potential accidents are reduced without putting humans or real animals at risk, because those accidents happen initially in a virtual world. At SIGGRAPH, NVIDIA will be talking about the current capabilities of the metaverse and its near-term future where, for time, the money and the greatest capabilities will be tied to industrial, not entertainment, use. Immersion is critical. While we will have intermediate steps using prosthetics that use more advanced forms of haptics to attempt to make us feel like we are immersed in these virtual worlds, it is efforts like Elon Musk to create better man-machine interfaces will make the real difference. By connecting directly into the brain, we should be able to create experiences that are indistinguishable from the real world and place us in these alternative realities far more realistically. Yet, as we gain the ability to create these worlds ourselves, altering these connections to provide greater reality, experiencing pain in battles, for instance, will be optional, allowing us to walk through encounters as if we were superpowered. Human digital twins. One of the biggest problems with video games is that the NPC, no matter how good the graphics are, tend to use very limited scripts. They don't learn, they don't change, and they are barely more capable than the animatronics at Disneyland. But with the creation of human digital twins, we will gain the ability to populate the worlds we create with far more realistic citizens. Imagine being able to license the digital twin you create to present to others and use in the companies or games they create. These NPC will be based on real people, will have more realistic reactions to changes, will be potentially able to learn and evolve, and won't be tied to your gender or even your physical form. How about a talking dragon based on your digital twin, for instance? You could even populate the metaverse world you create with huge numbers of clones that have been altered to look like a diverse population, including animals. Practical applications will include everything from virtual classrooms with virtual teachers to police and military training with virtual partners against virtual criminals, all based on real people, providing the ability to train with an unlimited number of realistic scenarios. For example, for a police officer, one of the most difficult things to train for is domestic disturbance. These confrontations can go sideways in all sorts of ways. I know of many instances where the police officer stepped in to protect an abused spouse, and then got clocked by that same spouse, who decided suddenly to defend her husband from the officer. Today, read a story about a rookie who approached a legally armed civilian who was on his own property. The officer was nearly shot because he attempted to draw on the civilian who hadn't broken any laws. That civilian was fully prepared to kill the officer had that happened. The officer was fired for this but could have died. Being able to train in situations like this virtually can help assure the safety of both the civilian and the officer. Wrapping up, God Mode. Anyone who has ever played a game in God Mode knows that it really destroys a lot of the value of the game. Yes, you can burn through the game in a fraction of the time, but it is kind of like buying a book and then reading a comprehensive summary with spoilers. Much of the fun of a game is figuring out the puzzles and working through the challenges. Westworld explored what might happen if the virtual people, who were created to emulate humans, figured out they were abused. To be realistic, these creations would need to emulate pain, suffering, and the full gambit of emotions, and it is certainly a remote possibility that they might overcome their programming. However, Another possibility is that people fully immersed in God mode may not be able to differentiate between what they can do in a virtual world and a real one. That could result in some nasty behaviors in the real world. I do think we'll find there will be a clear delineation between people who want to create viable worlds and treat those worlds beneficially, and those that want to create worlds that allow them to explore their twisted fantasies and secret desires. So that's it for today. If you like this video, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching.